I think when companies seem secretive or deceptive, it becomes harder to trust them and their intentions, and your relationship is limited. Now, granted, I understand why that can't always be the case because there's secret stuff happening and there's shareholders, and it's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that could get in the way of that being the case. But I said when Samsung came out and made their statement about the Fold and then delayed it, yes, it wasn't ideal, and people it was memes, and they were making fun of Samsung, but end of the day, they were protecting customers from this potential outcome. And even though you got to swallow your pride a little bit, the reality is the reality of the situation. And when you're attempting something ambitious, you just be honest about it. So I do kind of wish there was more of that behind the scenes, a trip through the assembly line. Hey, here's why this is hard to do. Here were the challenges. Could be interesting. A little mini documentary on the Fold, because I think people have a lot of questions. And I think it could be helpful with this product specifically, but any ambitious product, to show people what's involved in approaching a product of that criteria. It's tough, and I think people might change their tune a little bit in relationship to how they receive those products. If you've been behind the scenes, we talked about this.
Yeah,
you've been behind the scenes of a smartphone manufacturing facility. It's like, man, this stuff is hard. It's even harder with the Fold, and customers being armed with knowledge, intel, is can only increase their confidence in a company. Like, hey, if you're willing to show me that, I feel like you're doing your best.
Yeah, you got to respect the fact that they own that. I mean, that's tough to do.
It's tough to
own that. They got to work on it, and it's not ready yet.
Yeah, they could have come out and said, even if they were going to do that, they could have come out and said, yeah, it's a really select group of phones. The launch is going to be delayed, but not because of that reason. Like famously, Apple has done that a couple times. Now, granted, I'm sure Samsung has done that in the past too. Maybe they may have changed their approach to this because if I recall correctly, when the Note 7 started exploding, they tried to pretend it wasn't. Like, I don't know. Don't take me word for word on that, but I feel like they didn't necessarily reach out and own it immediately. So I feel like this is potentially a change in how we interact with brands and companies in general. You see a lot of that interactivity happening on social, publicly. Like, oh, you don't like your airline food? Go to Twitter. And I'm not necessarily saying that's always the best thing to do. Some people are way too quick to jump on social media and to use their clout to like try to make things happen. I'm not a big fan of it myself, only because I feel like you got to save those moments for like the real. It's just hard. Life is hard. Business is hard. Interacting with people is hard. It's amazing. It's all held together half the time. And it's just easy to complain about stuff and to forget sort of where you're at. So I don't like doing that too much on social media. But when brands are proactive about it and they're out there like trying to fix people's problems transparently via social media, I think people they get some cred for that. People really appreciate that.
Yeah, you get a good feeling as a customer. I don't even really use any Samsung products, and I mean, that says a lot about the company and the direction they're going in. I think so. Anyway, it was a good move for them, I think.
Even though you're not a Samsung fanboy, that's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't really I don't have any,
You got no skin in the game.
No, none, no.
Zero.
No, zero.
Okay.